In this video today, I'm going to answer a bunch of questions that came from you for dropshipping. It's a little bit of a mix of questions that came through the comments, and whenever you have a question, just drop it in the comments. Let me know what you want to know, and I'll tell you what you want to know. So just make sure to comment your questions, and what we go over today basically is, first of all, generally, how does dropshipping work? I'm going to do some artwork here on the screen and basically show you my drawing skills and how that all works. Then we're going to go over kind of how much does it cost to do dropshipping, how much does it cost to start. Then I will tell you if you need a sample from suppliers first, or if you can just, order the products as you see them on Aliexpress. We're also going to touch on if Shopify is the only option for dropshipping stores, or if there are others, and if so, if they are better or maybe not as good. I will also tell you if you can use the same picture as your Alibaba Express seller has up, or if you get into trouble when it comes to copyrights and all that kind of stuff, and if you can change the pictures slightly. I will let you know if your customers will see your Alibaba or AliExpress branding on the package when they receive it. And last but not least, I will also tell you if they will ever get to see the actual unit price. If you stay to the end of this video, I'll also reveal how you can make sure that your customers get the product in time and that you don't have to wait, 15 to 21 days, but actually how your customers can receive the packaging within 3 to 5 days. All of that will be covered in today's video. In the very beginning, when I just heard about dropshipping, I thought it's horrible. I thought it's not something to go into. Now I actually recommend it. I just thought that if you have such long, lead times and you don't have really control the supplier, you don't have control of the quality, and if you get 1 or 2 refunds, then you have to sell 10 or 20 more products just to make up the money. Also realize that paid ads won't work for it. So I was struggling myself for a long time, and actually, of course, I was thinking you should never go into it. I really wanted to make it work. I saw it as a little bit like a challenge, how to make it work. Here I give you the model on my screen. I'm going to share my screen with you now, and basically I'm going to share you how does dropshipping actually work. First of all, you have some source of traffic, or let's start with your shop. Okay, you have a shop that can be a Shopify store, which is basically just Shopify is just a tool that helps you to create the store. This can be a sales funnel. This can be all kinds of, anywhere where you basically have a sales platform for your products. Okay, so let me draw a little bit for you how dropshipping actually works, right? So you have your shop. That can be your store. That can be your Shopify store. I just draw that as like a little, let's say it's a little supermarket. And all of those, what looks like little windows here, that are your products, okay? So the only function of this store really is for people to be able to give you money, to pay, to pay with a credit card or pay with a PayPal, and then to handle all of the things that have to work from kind of the technical standpoint. So the customer gets that confirmation email, the customer gets, in maybe a tracking number, the AliExpress supplier gets an order. Sometimes it can be automated. Sometimes, you have to do that manually. But let me just kind of draw down how the whole thing works. So you have some sort of traffic source. So traffic just means the people, the eyeballs, right? The people that come to your store. So how that works basically, those you can have a ton of different traffic sources. You can have influencers that, promote your products for you and then send you people to your shop. Sometimes it can be, for example, that you pay someone who has an Instagram following and you pay them to make images with your products. That can be someone on YouTube who reviews your product and you pay them for the review, or you pay them a commission when they make a sale. This can be your own platforms, right? Your own platforms like, your own social media followings, your own Instagram page, your own TikTok account, your own whatever it is that really brings, that creates content that attracts people, right? So people are attracted to that, people watch that, and then you have your potential buyer, right? So how this works is that this potential buyer is somehow drawn from some of these places, and they all lead to your store. So now that person visits your store, looks around, has a look, and may or may not buy a product. If the person decides to buy your product, they give you money. Money is always cool. That money goes to you. So let's say you are this guy down here. This is you. I believe in real life you're much more handsome or much more pretty than this little figure, so don't get offended by it. But this is you. So you get the money from the customer, and then the customer chooses the product that they want, right? So they choose this product here. You know what they bought. They give you money for it. And let's say they give you $20 for that product, right? Now you go to a website that can be a website like Aliexpress. And I'm going to show you this here in a second. Aliexpress is basically a website where you can, where you have sellers in China that, or other sellers, doesn't have to be China, by the way, but we'll get there later, own the product, that manufacture the product or that own the product, and they sell it for a cheaper price, right? And this is basically where the trading happens, where you buy it for $5 and then you sell it for 20. This is kind of how it works, right? Once the person bought the product, now you go to the AliExpress supplier and you say, okay, you have this product for $5 and you buy that, right? So you buy the product for $5 and you tell the AliExpress supplier the contact details of this customer, where to ship the product, how to, let's do this here. This is a little box. This is your product. They mail the product to your customer. So the customer gave you 20, you keep $15, and then you spend $5 for the product. If you don't have any other marketing spend, like you don't, have paid ads here, which I really don't like. So if you have paid ads, usually you cannot make that work. Okay. So for now, forget paid ads. This is how dropshipping works, right? Here's how AliExpress basically looks like. There are other platforms and we're going to go over those. So make sure to subscribe to this channel because in future videos, we're going to talk about all of that. So what you can do basically on AliExpress is you can, choose all different kinds of products. Let's say you're into fitness and you're selling these kind of fitness loops here, they call them. And you see you can buy them for a cheap price. This 1 cent here isn't actually going to be ending up with, or isn't actually going to be the final price, but they are all different kind of products that you can purchase from them, and then you just send it to the customer, and they handle everything for you. The beauty on that is that you don't have to buy any inventory up front, and that you don't have to own anything. You don't have to have a warehouse. You don't have to ship anything. None of that kind of stuff is on you. So your job is basically only to get this guy here to come to your shop and buy something. How much does dropshipping cost? So there are different costs involved. There's one kind of cost that are your monthly fixed costs. Dropshipping, that's really your store. You pay a fee for the Shopify store. Shopify takes a little fee here and there if you sell a product. And then there are other kind of setup fees. There are all different kind of plugins that you can use in your Shopify store that are supposed to, get people to buy more. So they are kind of these countdown timers and all of this kind of marketing stuff that you've probably noticed before. Like if you go on booking.com and you look for a hotel, you always see, only 3 places left, only 2 spots left. That's to create urgency for the buyer to buy. And you get the same thing for Shopify as a plugin. So there's no limit upwards on how much you can spend for all of those plugins. But that's really your main expense here. The other expense is, and we're going to go there later, and that is your sourcing process. That are the samples and that is that kind of stuff. But we're going to go there in a minute. You might spend a few $100s for those samples. I'm going to talk more about that later. So that's your overall fixed costs. If you don't run any ads, then your only fixed cost a month is really your store. Then you have variable costs. So there are costs that whenever you sell a product, obviously you're going to buy the product and you're going to pay the shipping for the product. The $15 margin here that I gave you was a little bit exaggerated. Usually it looks more like you sell a product for $20 and then you buy the product for $15 and you make $5 of a profit. That's usually how that works. So you have to pay the shipping and you have to pay the product, right? That are your overall costs. Then there's another, and that's kind of like a hidden cost, and that is refunds. And refunds for dropshipping are really, really big. And we're also going to touch on that later on in this video. So stay tuned to kind of find out how to avoid that, because if you have a 10% margin, that means you need to sell 10 products to make up the money that you lose from one refund. Okay, so you cannot afford any refunds with dropshipping, and we're going to talk more about that later in this video. Let's talk about samples. Do you need to order samples when you sell on dropshipping? Because people always say, hey, look, I'm going to have a few samples here that we order, and it's probably really expensive, because if you order a sample from that dropshipping supplier with international shipping and you want to have it quickly, it might cost you up to $60 just for that sample, just for the supplier to give you a sample. And that can be really expensive. So a lot of times you would say, well, you don't want to do that. But like I say, if you have all the refunds because the quality wasn't as expected, then you will have a problem, because you need to make sure that the quality is great. After all, you set up the store because you want to serve a customer and you want to sell the product. You can't be so selfish and always say, okay, I want to have the easiest, simplest way to make a lot of money, right? That's not usually how people get successful with this. It's really about caring about your customer, about their experience, because the real money that is made in e-commerce is always in the back end. It's always when you first generate a customer. That's just a little part of the general money that you can make. If you keep selling to the same customer, you keep offering different products to the same customers over a longer period of time, that is really where the majority of the money comes from. So if your quality isn't good, or if the customer doesn't have a great experience with you, they're not going to buy again from you, right? So that's not going to happen. So you miss out on all of that money in the back end. So invest into ordering samples, get really good products, get really high quality products. Don't sell some crap just because your margin is bigger. Your overall money that you're going to make is so much more if you sell really good quality products than if you would sell some crappy products where your margin initially is bigger and you make initially a little bit more money, but you lose all of the next possible purchases from that customer. Also, you probably don't want to sell to broke people. So you don't want to sell the cheapest things for the cheapest price, because that's only attractive to people that don't have money. And really, you want to sell to people that have money, because you want them to give you their money, right? So don't sell to broke people. That's kind of a little extra tip here. Let's go over the next one. Can I use the same picture as the Aliexpress supplier has on their shop? Yes, you can. Is it recommended? I don't know. If the pictures are good, you can just use the same pictures initially. If the pictures aren't looking great, it's definitely worth to invest into your own pictures. They are so-called light boxes that you can order, that you can buy, that cost between $100 and $500, like a box that is really well lit from all sides. There's very special LEDs in it. And even if you take pictures of the product from your phone, they look really, really, really good. Rather use those images. That's my recommendation. However, if you're just starting out and you want to see what products work and what products don't work, you might not want to spend all the effort and the extra money in that, unless you know, hey, this is my best selling products. I want to put that in an even better light. I want to make it even prettier. I want to make it look prettier on my website, so that you can have more people buy it. So for the very beginning, don't make your own pictures. Just use the same pictures from the Aliexpress supplier. Usually they don't have a problem with that. Just ask them, and I'm sure they will allow you. And if you go further and you want to, kind of upgrade your store, invest a little bit into the light boxes. You can find them. You can even make them yourself. If you look here on YouTube for light box tutorials or DIY light box tutorials, you will see there are plenty of options for you to do it. All right, next question. Does my customer ever see the AliExpress branding on packaging when they get it? No, that's not the case. There's no AliExpress packaging. It's not like Amazon, where Amazon has most of the products. Most of the people that sell on Amazon send their products to the Amazon storage. Amazon stores it there. And when Amazon sells your product or fulfills your product, they take your product and put it in the Amazon box and send it to you. AliExpress is different. AliExpress is not one warehouse where all the sellers house or store their products. They fulfill it themselves. Okay, so that's why they don't have a AliExpress branding on it, and this is not something that's gonna ever happen. The buyers actually see the unit price that you buy the product for. That's another question I hear a lot, but that's not the case. Of course, if your buyer checks also AliExpress, then they can, compare it. But, this is not going to happen. Otherwise, they would go to AliExpress. directly anyway. So the customer does not ever see the price of it. When they get the receipt in the box, delivery slipped or something, they will not see the actual price that your product costs in China. So let's talk about the delivery question. That was always a question that kind of killed it for me to ever do dropshipping. I think that everyone is so spoiled by Amazon for 24-hour delivery, 1-day delivery or 3-day delivery. Everyone is so spoiled with these quick delivery times that if you have 15 days delivery or 21 days delivery or even longer, your customer will definitely refund. Oftentimes they're not going to see this, they don't expect it, and then they will refund you if your product doesn't arrive. Or if you display it on the website and they see it, there's a problem with it because they will not buy in the first place, right? So there's a way around that though. And there are lots of suppliers that actually ship from the US. If you're not selling in the US, stay with me because I'm going to give you another advice here how you can solve that. But if you're selling to people in the US, then you can use AliExpress and choose an option that it's sent from the States, because in that moment, the shipping times are really quick. If you are not in the US, the first way is to buy units yourself, to buy 10 units or 20 units of the products that you know that work and fulfill them yourself, right? That is one option. Another option is to just look for different suppliers. Don't go on AliExpress, but just look for maybe even just shops, like go downstairs to shops you find, go to actual retail stores and offer to sell their products. Right now, especially with everyone in quarantine, just call some shops and tell them want to sell their products. They can still fulfill it. They can still go into their shop and pack up the products and ship them out. So that might be an option for you here as well. And then there's one last question I actually forgot here, which is if you should exaggerate your product quality. And that is a question I get sometimes because then, people saying, hey, if I exaggerate the quality, I can sell more and I can make more money. But this is really bad. This is really wrong. Because if you exaggerate the quality and then the customer buys it and it's not the way they expected, they will definitely refund you. So that's a bad part on you. The second bad part is that they will not continue to buy. And look, you have to see this whole thing as a real business where you deal with real people. This is not about conversion rates or how much profit margins you have, how many numbers of people come to your store. No, this is about the customer. How well can you serve a customer? How can your product help the customer with something? It's not about you making a quick buck. The more you help people, the better products you have, the more money you will automatically make. Okay, so just focus on the customer and don't focus on, yourself and how much quick money you can make. I would highly recommend you, if you want to learn more about dropshipping, to subscribe to this channel because we have so many things to come. In tomorrow's video, we're actually going to be talking about how to make more profit from your Shopify store. So if you have a store already, how do you make more profit? I see so many people talking about the revenue that they make or the return on ad spend that they got back. But if you really look closely at the numbers and you understand a little bit of how much profit margins there usually are attached to it, a lot of people make zero money. There are a lot of store or shop owners that sell $100,000 a month and make zero profit. In tomorrow's video, I'm going to show you ways how to make your store more profitable. And if you don't have a store yet, you can set it up right from the get-go so that you can actually turn over a profit. So make sure to subscribe to this channel. My name is Niels Older. On this channel, we talk a lot about selling, sourcing, and profiting from your private label products, from your dropshipping products, from your products online, basically. So check out all the resources in the description here. We have a few things there for you that are free that will definitely help you. And I catch you tomorrow.